There's a fascinating book about living longer, how to live to be 100. And it was written by a guy named Dan Buettner. And it's called The Blue Zones. And he was a journalist who discovered that there were these areas in the world where a lot of these people that lived there had long lives. And it's not just that they lived a long time, but they lived a high quality life. And it's interesting reading because it flies in the face of sometimes what you see that's popular now on YouTube, such as intermittent fasting and keto and carnivore and things like that. And yeah, everybody wants to lose weight, but we all want to live long, healthy lives without disabilities in our mind and our body. And there are a number of places that have been shown to do this, and he outlines exactly what it is. And I know what we're all thinking. We're all, okay, what do they eat? What do they do? What do they eat? What do they eat? And what they eat is only one component of it, and we're going to discuss that right now and many things that you can do. However, it's fascinating that it's really a societal problem. It's largely where they live. And one of the blue zones is actually here in California, not too far from here, surprisingly. And they have many traits that all over the world, there's similarities. Now, the food is going to be different because it's based on their local cuisine and availability. But I thought it was an interesting book, so I'll put a link down below, in the description for Amazon if you want to see that. What is it that these people eat? And the answer is, it's largely, unfortunately, it's not a strict diet, but it's largely plant-based. But it's not plant-based because they're following a diet. This is just what they eat. That's what's fascinating about this, is the majority of foods that they eat are simply what they eat because it's available for less expensive than expensive food. That didn't come out right. But nonetheless, most of it is based upon availability. Most of it is based upon affordability. And the most important thing I thought that this guy said was the food has to taste good. If I were to say to you that oysters were good for you and you just don't like the taste of oysters and the availability of oysters is not available where you live, it doesn't matter how healthy oysters are. If you don't like them and they're not available or they're too expensive, you're not going to eat them. So largely, a lot of the foods are very simple foods, not a lot of ingredients, but mainly vegetables, some fruits. Occasionally when they do have meat, it's kind of a treat. And this is very similar to, I'm trying to get comfortable here. This is very similar to like a zone diet or a South Beach diet, or just kind of a non-strict vegetarian diet, but they're not doing it because of health reasons. They're trying to solve their A1C or trying to change an enzyme in their body or a hormone. The last thing I thought was fascinating, and I remember hearing about this when I was younger, was eat breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a prince, and eat dinner like a pauper. And what that essentially means is breakfast is the most important meal, and you will eat the most during that time. You will eat a lot of food at breakfast. During lunch, you will eat less, let's say, but not as much. You want to always fill up your stomach only 80%. So you're not gorging yourself. And then at dinner time, it's time to have a light dinner. And that flies in the face of everything that every YouTuber is trying to promote right now, which is skip breakfast, try to push lunch farther out, and eat dinner, or even just one meal a day. And this is an effective way to lose weight because you're simply eating less. But the people that live the longest in the world, in Italy, in Japan, here in California, at a place, particular place, Loma Linda. These people aren't following these YouTube, Instagram, TikTok influencers. They're not trying to solve problems. They're just eating for health. And I thought it was an interesting part of the book. Other parts of the book talk about how you could change society, how you can relax, have periods of time when you relax, which I do that, I try to. Don't always get a chance, but I thought it was an interesting book. So there's lots of, because we don't get enough vegetables, and I know, because I know the algorithm, I'm learning the algorithm, I know who's watching my channel, and I'm aware of a lot of people are just eating meat or eating butter and bacon and eggs and steaks, and you're missing out on some nutrients that occur in vegetables. And that's just reality. Just like if you're just eating broccoli or you're just eating plants, then you're missing out on some nutrients that exist in meat. And that's why for these blue zone areas, it's not that they're eliminating meat because they don't want to hurt animals. They just don't eat it as their primary food and only food. And I thought it was interesting. So if you're interested in these things, there's things on YouTube, but the book is really fascinating. Now here is a private message for my subscribers. I know that this time of year can be extremely stressful on many levels. You've got family to deal with. Maybe your family, you don't like your family so much, or some people in your family are manipulative and just difficult to be around. In addition to that, you're very often eating foods that aren't very good for you, and you're in situations where you're kind of pressured to eat certain ways or certain types of food that you wouldn't normally eat. Very often people gain weight during this time of year. In addition to that, we have other stresses that go on, chemical stresses on our bodies, emotional stresses, and I know it's difficult. Now you know one of my favorite products that I use myself is this, the Magnesium Breakthrough. This stuff is awesome, and most people are deficient in magnesium, and thus I think this is a great supplement. Well, the geniuses at Bioptimizers have come up with a new formula of product, and the reason why they did this is to have an effect on stress. It's many different herbs, and you can go on the website and look at the product called Stress Guardian. It's this one right here. This is awesome. It has tremendous amounts of herbs in it, all formulated strategically to help the effects of stress. I will put a link for both of these products down in the description, but if you just go to this link right here and use Story 10, you get a 10% discount. Lastly, the greatest thing about this product, as well as their other products, is that with the Stress Guardian and the Magnesium Breakthrough, you get a 365-day guarantee. What this means is no questions asked. If you use their products and you're not happy with them, you get a money-back guarantee. Now, I don't know any nutritional company that I'm aware of that has so much confidence in their product that they give that type of guarantee. They just want you to try this out, see if you like it. If you like it, I'm willing to bet that you won't want to give it back. You'll want to keep it and get more. So the links are in the description. Again, use the promo code so you can get a discount. And I think that you'll find that this helps your stress a tremendous amount.